Hello, my loving souls again. This is Olesya. So it's kind of like the sunset down, but I think I have I have a bit of time to record another video today before coyotes will start coming out. So if you see something behind me, just I hope nothing will come in. I feel safe and protected. The birds are chirping right now, like so strongly. I thought the last video was really good information for us to clarify some information about the spirit world, and how we should not be afraid of the spirit world, but rather strive to connect with this type of tap into this world, because we are spirit. We are spirit in a physical body for a reason, right? We came to this physical plane, it's for a reason, and we're going to discuss this later, right? What the reason is. However, we are spirit, and connecting with spirit is basically connecting with ourselves, connecting with this higher power, and connecting with our ancestral energies as well, that are guiding us, supporting us, and loving us unconditionally, want the best things for us, want for us to strive in this world, want for us to live our life to the highest and the best, right? So spirit world, guys, is nothing to be afraid of, but rather we should strive to develop this connection, develop this channel to start communicating with the spirits of our loved ones, or the higher source energy, the higher power. So if you're guys watching my video for the first time, please check out other videos, because starting from video number 1, because it's a developing story, which is continues to unfold, and just watching the video from video number 1 will provide a lot of like clarity, and the things are not going to be taken out of the context, because a lot of things are explained in the history of this kind of like video series. Also, I basically mentioned it in every video because I do want to put those reminders in order, since my information involves a lot of I would say information which is mystical, magical, and involves some supernatural powers as well. It's very important for you guys to stay open to this information. When we are staying open, we are expanding. When we're expanding, we are growing. So it's very, very important to stay open. Additionally, I I don't have to convince anybody if something is true and honest. I just have to tell you, I just have to convince you only in one thing. Please pay attention to your body sensations, because in the form of goosebumps, because the goosebumps is the ability of your soul, of your inner energy, of your inner voice, to let you know what is true and what is honest and what resonates with your frequency, frequency of your personal energy, or what you need to expand on or think about, or there is something in that, right? Whenever you start having goosebumps, just pay attention to that, to pay attention to your thoughts or my words in that moment, right? Whenever I speak things into the video. I just I just saw, I think it was like a big rat. Was I don't know, I'm outside, I'm in this hiking trail, but there was like an animal with a long tail, kind of like this big. I'm not quite sure what that is, but anyway, I am I'm strong. I am not afraid. Okay, so alrighty, guys. So now we are officially moving into the events that are going to escalate, right? So, as from prior videos, I already specified that my basically my experiences with the meditation, they started to escalate. So now I felt the energy going through all my body. I also felt the energy in the areas of specific chakras that I was balancing. Then I started feeling the energy of the crystals, right? Energy of the crystals. But what started happening with me down the road is that one day, one beautiful magical day, and as I mentioned previously in my other video, so I was doing yoga at that time. So I would just to be honest, I signed off from all of the gyms and memberships and whatnot, because I just for some reason, when these changes started to happen, I just couldn't find the desire within myself to go to the gym, kind of being inside in the building, and just being on the treadmill like I used to. It just became kind of really, I would say, boring for me, even though I was trying to watch some, let's say, some videos on YouTube, or I was I was watching, listening to some podcasts during my workout routines. I just at the end, when I started making those personal changes within myself, those routines, those daily routines became more, how can I say, I just started transitioning. I felt there was a shift within me. I felt there was a shift within, with that change that I brought upon me. The change started to radiate into the outer world, right? And so that's when I basically, the gym activity, going to the gym was never, let's say, appealing to me. I was no longer interested. So I kind of signed up from these memberships, and I started doing yoga. And there's a really good yoga channel, I would say, on YouTube. It's I'm not guys advertising. I just really like this presentation of yoga, and it's completely free, so you can just yoga to me is like more just developing the strength and flexibility within the body. I think any type of physical exercise is really good for our body, very good to develop our flexibility and strength, because this is our physical vessel. That's the temple, right? As they say, the body is the temple for the soul. And so in my view, we should treat our bodies like it is a temple for our soul, because there's a lot of experiences that we can have if our body is healthy, right? In that sense. So in a healthy body, they say the healthy spirit and a healthy body. Anyway, so I started doing this yoga at home. I started doing this yoga following this channel. I think it's called Sarah Bath Yoga. And so so all these experiences were happening simultaneously, right? My meditations, my kind of developments with the crystals and whatnot, my communication with this energy, and now yoga on another side, like on the physical side. And so I would typically, in a living room, I would typically turn on the Sarah Bath Yoga, and I would put my yoga mat, and I will start doing yoga exercises, and everything was everything was great, right? Everything was awesome. I was already started to feel my balance, like I was really balancing. And one day I started noticing. So yes, one particular morning I was going to do some stretching in this living room, and I kind of got up in the warrior position of the yoga. And warrior, you guys know, right? You kind of like make a lunge, one knee is bent and another one leg is kind of like stretched behind, and you kind of like in this warrior position. And then guys, and then I felt this type of like very, how can I say, I felt this type of like movement within my body that was a little bit challenging and difficult for me to hold the balance in that sense. And I'm like, this is interesting. This is very interesting, kind of like very slight movement. I was kind of out of balance, and it's not like a regular shift within the body where you just feel like you're out of balance. There was some different feeling. But I really kind of pay quick attention to this, but I didn't really put this in my how can I say, I did not really concentrate on this, right? And then the same day I go to the park now, and I bring my yoga mat with me, because my preference is to do yoga in the park. And so I bring my yoga mat in the park, and I start doing the same position as the warrior in the yoga. And here I notice that my body is unable to hold the balance. It's basically I stand, but my body starts to move kind of like out of balance. But it's not like I'm out of balance. It's already a feeling that someone some type of like the outer force, the energy, it starts to move my body. And I'm like, this is not the wind. This is not just me being out of balance. Some other external or inner inner force that is within me starts to basically move my body out of balance. And I'm like, this is interesting. I almost felt into the side and whatnot. And so I thought to myself, oh, this is very interesting. I never came to this type of like experience, right, in my life. And then okay, so some time passes by. I think few days pass by, and then I go and do meditations. Let's say I told you about that. I also was doing my meditations at the beach, and so what started happening on one particular day. When I was meditating at the beach, I would sit there with my crystals, right? I will have, say, there's a candle, there's an incense, there's some crystals in front of me, and I would sit with like pendulum in one hand, crystal in the other hand, and I will have some chanting music within my headphones. And then at that point, I started feeling kind of like the energy, like a flow of energy is coming through my body. So I felt the energy kind of like the earth under me, the sand is under me. It's kind of like, it started to kind of like move. It started to kind of like shake like this, kind of like in vibrational movement like this, right? So I like slide, but I felt it. I felt this kind of movement. I thought, maybe it's some type of earthquake or something, right? So I see it further, and I'm like, it must be like an earthquake, maybe in Mexico, and this is like a residue of the earthquake, right? And that's almost how it felt. And so I'm sitting further, and again, I see it, and I feel this type of like vibration at the base. Let's say at the root chakra, I feel this type of like under my butt. So it's just like this type of movement, right? And then I felt the energy flow is coming from like through my body, kind of like on the spine like this. So I felt that energy is going through like this, right? So I feel the energy at my crown chakra. I feel energy here, and I also felt the energy kind of at the bottom where my body was connecting to the earth, connecting to the sand. So I kind of felt that flow of energy. It's almost like someone like analogy comes in. It's like someone will you'll sit on the water hose, and this water will be like kind of bursting up through your body, almost like this. And so that was like the energy connection that I started to feel on the physical level. And as I mentioned in my previous video, we all have like a soul family. There is a soul family with each one of us, right? And so at one of the meditations, I started seeing a very beautiful very beautiful face of a man. It's kind of like man with the long hair and with like long beard. This type of kind of man that you will find, that you will see in the Viking movies, like Viking movies. This type of man, he would have like a long kind of almost like a salt and pepper hair, right? Salt and pepper, kind of black, but it's already you can see the gray hair coming through, and he has mustache and kind of like the beard. This type of kind of like a I would say yeah, kind of like a Viking, some kind of from the different centuries. And from that point on, I thought, oh my gosh, this face, I know this face from somewhere. This face felt so so familiar to me, like I already knew this man in maybe different lifetimes and whatnot. And at the same time, I will experience the emotion of longing, like I am here on this physical plane, on this physical life, in this physical world, and I was taken away, or almost like came here by myself, where my family, my real soul family, my spirit family, they are left in that other dimension. And I felt this deep feeling of longing. It's almost like such a deep feeling of longing, and felt kind of kind of like I was almost like taken away from the from this family, and I supposed to be here by myself, and they, you know, they are there, the people who, let's say, the energies, the spirits, the family who love me unconditionally. And I felt such a strong feeling of longing that I started to basically cry. I started having those emotions and tears and whatnot. And guys, you might think, oh, you're just being emotional. No, 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 this is not it. This is like I never experienced feeling like this in my entire life. It really was feeling like whenever there is a separation, almost like there is a separation, and you are here, and let's say all your loved ones and all your family, just imagine this type of feeling. Like if you love someone so much right now, just imagine this, like you love someone so much, and seems like you got separated and they left, let's say, in one country, and you are on the other country or another continent, or somewhere very, very far away, and you miss them so much, and you kind of feel that type of longing of separation. You feel that type of love for each other, right? Love for each other, that this type of love that you almost cannot live without each other, and you got separated at the same time. That's how, like, the emotion was so strong, so strong. So these type of experiences started happening during my meditation process, and that happened. It just like made such a huge impression on me that I just remember like it was yesterday. And so what happened next was really, really extraordinary, guys. So as I was doing this meditation at the beach, as I felt this flow of energies going through my body, kind of from, you know, from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top, kind of like this flow of, and it was very noticeable. It almost like I felt this vibration, like you know, like like this, and it was the this type of energy. I felt it going through, like inside, almost like in my spine, right? And at that point I was listening to some chanting music, and basically what happened was my body started to go side to side like this. My body started to go side to side, and it's almost like it felt like this, almost kind of like my spine was started to going into the wave, like my body started to go shake from side to side, kind of like this. And my body started to move like this, not because I wanted to rock my body and I was doing this intentionally. There was a force of energy that was moving my body in that type of motion. So it was like this, right? And I'm like, whoa, what is happening? But it felt, again, I felt very calm. I felt at peace. And it was, since I was playing like chanting music, it was kind of doing this by the rhythm of this chanting music. So it was just like kind of like moving from side to side, from side to side. So that's how it was going, right? And so from that point on, the body movement started to basically escalate. It's not just okay, so the body movement started to continue like this, and I will reveal to you right now. So as I'm sitting right now and telling you this story, so the energy actually moves my body from side to side. It's not me, it's the energy force that is within me that the body started to channel, right? And so after this type of experience, like after this type of activation, so the first one was the slight movement in the house when I was trying to make do a yoga. Second movement was at the park. The third movement was at the beach, and at the beach when it's really, really kind of like the movement of the body became stronger, right? And so when my spine just started, I felt my spine is going in this motion, just like I'm showing you right now. So right now, even I'm sitting and doing this type of motions with my body, but this is the energy that moves my body. And so at that point, when I started doing meditations at home as well, when I came home, my body will continue do these motions with every meditation. With every meditation, my body will just rock side to side, you know. And so it was just all with the music and whatnot. So it was like a new new sensations for me. And for some of you that may think, oh my goodness, what is this? Guys, so just to add clarity, first of all, when my grandmother passed away, I saw the dream with the grandmother. She told me, okay, Olesya, you will see things are going to happen in February. So you will see what's going to happen in February, right? Second of all, the psychic medium, she told me during the reading that I am waking up to some type of calling, some type of calling. The third one, the second reading, but the third sign that I'm going to tell you is that it's also during the reading it came to me that I supposed to live the life. I'm awakening, living my life to the true meaning of my name, right? And so a lot of these things that started happening to me as well through the readings and through everything that I received at that point, it is predestined. It is predestined, and there is a kind of like awakening process to this calling that is that is part of my life, that I guess my soul. And I forgot to tell you guys previously, also from information that I learned before, that there is a special, there are a lot of things in our life, they are predestined. So basically those things are predestined in our life in accordance with the plan for that soul's purpose. So there is a soul purpose, and some things are predestined before. So everything what started happening with me, and as I was guided through the process, as I told you previously, it's like someone would give me like breadcrumbs, even through those experiences, like crystals, right? The psychic medium classes, the meditations, the angelic realms, the chakra balancing, the communication with the energy through pendulum and books and cards and whatnot. All of those were kind of like a breadcrumbs for me to follow. And so when at that point, when my body started to, basically my energy started to move my body, just like right now, that's when the thing started to really escalate. So during all my meditations right now, my body would be like rocking from side to side, and sometimes it will go on the initial stages, it would be almost like it will go on one side and it will be stuck there, you know, and then again energy will bring it to another side, and it's almost like a you know, kind of like a I don't know what you call it. There is a perpetual there is kind of like non-stopping tool like this that I forgot what it's called, but it never stops, you know. As you start, it's like there's kind of like the movement like this from one side to another side. Okay, so after these movements didn't stop here. These movements didn't stop here. At that point, I also, it seems like this energy started to control my hips, the hip movement, you know. So at that point, I started basically, my hips started to also to move from side to side, side to side. I almost kind of like was you know, kind of like the energy almost manipulated the movement of my hips. And it was very, very interesting to me. Not the upper body, but more like a lower body. The upper body movement was activated when I was in a sitting position, but when I would start walking, my hips would be activated also by this energy force, by this energetical force that will go through my body now, right? So at one particular day, my mom my mom came to me, and at that point I think I had some days off at work, just because it was like a long weekend. I think it was like a 3 or 4 day weekend. Occasionally we had days like this, like the holidays and whatnot. And so at that point, the whole body of mine was kind of like moving. Even when I would be standing, all my body will be just like moving by the energy. And my mom came to me, she's like, Olesya, what's going on? And I said, Mom, I really don't know. I really don't know what's happening, but it seems like this got activated for me. I told her about like an initial movement of my body when my body started to move from side to side when I was trying to do yoga. I told her, and that happened, guys. It happened basically timeline for my body to start moving somewhere in July, right? And whenever I had these experiences at the beach, when my body started moving, my energy, kind of like my spine started to move like this, right? Through that meditation, that happened already closer to August, or in August time frame, kind of like August time frame, right? And at that point, I was continue going to this mediumship psychic abilities class. And so when my mom came in one time, the whole body was moving. It was kind of almost like moving almost sporadically. It was smooth movements, you know, but it was just when I would stand, my hips would be moving. When I would stand, my hips would be moving, and then my torso would be moving as well. It was kind of like you know, this energy was completely starting to control my body movements in that sense, right? But not hands, just kind of like the spine, the torso, and the hips in that sense. And so my body started to really it almost feels like when you start when you start riding a bike, at first you're kind of clumsy and you are really like shaking. When you start like driving a car, at first you're kind of like clumsy and your hands, let's say, shaky and whatnot. That's almost how it felt. It's almost feels like when I would be like I'm almost starting to ride my bike and the body movement will be very shaky. So things like this started to happen, and at that point, that's when it started to really like open up and escalate and whatnot. But these body movements, they would continue through. They would not. So they would not calm down anymore. So it seems like some part of me got activated in that sense. Some part within me got activated where my body right now became a channel for this energy to come through, right? And so it's very important, guys, to stay open to this information. So I'm telling you, great transformational changes have been happening in my life for the last for this time, and I'm just revealing to you kind of like the big part of things that were taking place in my life. And these were like the first activation, the major activation of my body by this energy. So my body became the whole, like it's almost became, my body became a pendulum now, right? The pendulum that I was telling you about, how the energy was moving the pendulum. Now this energy was moving my body, and these body movements will be like, they will be smooth, you know, they will be smooth, and they will be, as soon as I sit down and as soon as I start, let's say, meditating, that's the natural kind of movement of my body, whatever was happening with me at that point. So I think we're kind of closer to this video. And guys, on the camera, it seems like it's lighter outside than it is. It's kind of getting darker right now, and I think it's a good information. Just kind of bring this type of like disclose to you another development, major development that started happening with me at that point. So now energy kind of moved and controlled my body in that very smooth but very flowy motion, right, through meditation or through my movements or through my walks and whatnot. And so, but it felt almost like this is just got activated, and it was just almost like assimilating to kind of like activation on the beginning stages in that sense, right? And so right now we're closer to the end of the video at 30 minutes, and my battery is showing like a 15%. So I think it's a good point for us to just exit this video right now. It's also, some of you might digest this information and whatnot. And we will continue with my experiences in the next video. But at this time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying with more amazing things to come, more amazing videos to follow. So please continue watching, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you feel like it, and we will continue with experiences from that point on, when the energy started to basically when the energy was activated within my body. That's a kind of like a breaking point in that sense, kind of entering into the new experiences of events that have been happening with me in energy communication, and basically just amazing, mystical and mysterious and beautiful, supernatural things. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to run home because coyotes will start coming in. So I don't want to run into the coyotes. Okay, guys, peace and love.